Hello and welcome to You Grow Girls Youth Leadership Board information session. Thank you for tuning in. Your interest in the Youth Leadership Board is why we have created this legacy project. During this session, we will go over who You Grow Girl is and provide more information on the Youth Leadership Board, what it is, what we do, qualities we're looking for, how to apply, and even hear from former board members themselves with a Q&A session. My name is Callie, and I am currently pursuing a master's in social work at the University of Washington. My role at You Grow Girl is Legislative Ambassador Intern, meaning I am the point person at You Grow Girl for the Youth Leadership Board and the Adult Ally who will support the board in their meetings and organizational planning.
Hello, I'm Anara, and I'm the program specialist here at You Grow Girl. I loved being on the board because it helped me find ways to learn how to advocate for myself and others, while also building new connections with people who are interested in the same topics as me.
Hi, my name is Jazeja, Director of Youth Leadership. I was one of the co-founders of the Youth Leadership Board, and I was initially drawn to be a part of the board because of my personal values on gender equality and societal norms. I wanted to push boundaries and advocate for my rights and my sister's rights. Being a part of the Youth Leadership Board helped me find my voice and open many doors to various opportunities. Before we get started, we'll recite the pledges that are the core to our mission and are the commitments we make to ourselves and to the sisterhood. I will say the affirmation, and you will say the affirmer statement. We are responsible for our sisters' progress. We will uplift and empower our sisters every day. We will tell our sisters that we know what we know, but we don't know it all. We will try new ideas and methods with our sisters. We will do what we say we are going to do for our sisters. We will not only give support to our sisters, but we will also accept support.
We invite you to take a moment to scan the QR code to learn more about You Grow Girl's other programming and services.
You Grow Girl's Youth Leadership Board was launched in 2015 under the United Nations Foundation's Girl Up campaign. With this partnership, the board is one of over 3,000 youth-led girl up groups in more than 155 countries and 50 state organizational partners doing similar work to promote gender equity, such as United Nations Children's Fund and UN Women. The Youth Leadership Board focuses on 5 main challenges that intertwine with Girl Up's core values, which are education, health, safety, leadership, and being counted. The youth-led board is comprised of 9 to 15 high school-aged youth from different backgrounds living throughout King County, Washington. Members participate in ongoing training to enhance their natural leadership and advocacy abilities. With new skills, members will work together to develop strategies to dismantle flawed community norms and advocate for and with their community to ensure basic needs, resources are accessible to all.
Furthermore, the board is committed to making a difference in their own communities as well as on a national level. For example, You Grow Girl has been an advocate for the Ending Pushout Act, introduced by Massachusetts' 7th Congressional District Representative, Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley in 2021. The act addresses how education of Black and Brown students is often disrupted as a result of discriminatory and punitive discipline policies that criminalize and push them out of school. Ending Pushout calls for the disruption of school discipline policies that disproportionately impact students of color and lead to the growing school to confinement pipeline by investing in safe and nurturing school environments for all students, especially girls of color.
Thinking about the big picture, a youth leadership board is a powerful platform that empowers young people to become change makers in their communities, aligning with core values of social work. empowerment, advocacy, and social justice. By providing youth with the skills, confidence, and support to lead, it encourages them to take an active role in shaping the world around them. Through collaboration, decision-making, and community engagement, they learn the importance of standing up for themselves and their peers, advocating for equality, and working together for a better future. This is not just leadership, it is the heart of social work in action, where the next generation rises to make a difference and become the advocates and agents of change our world needs. This leads us to what the board does.
The Youth Leadership Board meets regularly at one of You Grow Girl's office locations to create and discuss upcoming events, volunteer opportunities, and bills and policies of interest. Members also participate in weekend-long team-building retreats with an agenda of both work and play. Mornings are dedicated to open discussions, planning, and/or debriefing, while afternoons are spent playing games, watching movies, and exploring out in communities. Every year, the board attends Girl Up's Leadership Summit, as it has taken place in both DC and in Los Angeles. Members have planned and hosted various activities to raise funds for their trip. The Her Story Brunch is their main annual event with scheduled itinerary of youth performances, interactive games, and live raffles. In previous years, members broke bread with over 50 invitees and raised over $10,000. They have partnered with Brown Bear Car Wash and sold over 100 Berry Clean tickets and have handmade an array of desserts to sell at school events and in communities.
We are looking for high school-aged youth in King County who are seeking leadership opportunities and that want to advocate for their communities. Within the You Grow Girl Sisterhood, youth are defined as individuals between the ages 11 and 25 who identify as cis girls or women, trans girls or women, non-binary, genderqueer, gender fluid, gender non-conforming, or were assigned female at birth. Applicants are change makers that are motivated to make multi-year commitments to meeting bi-weekly, year-round to create and plan activities, as well as advise You Grow Girl on programming to bring awareness to institutionalized injustices girls and women from underrepresented communities experience every day. Youth Leadership Board members are leaders and advocates that are empowered to create an inspirational sisterhood of fellow change makers passionate about transformative social justice. Members also gain volunteer service hours needed for graduation, as well as have opportunities to receive stipends. If this sounds like you, and you are interested in leading and advocating for change, use this QR code to start your application. You can also visit You Grow Girl's website or email yl@yougrowgirl.org for questions or more information. To help paint the picture, who better to hear from than former members of the board? We asked Youth Leadership Board alumni a couple of questions about their time as members. Take a look. So hello and welcome to our Youth Leadership Board alumni question and answer session. My name is Callie O'Connor. I am the Legislative Ambassador at You Grow Girl. And to get us started, I would like to welcome our panel and have them introduce themselves.
I can go first. I am Jazasia. I am a second generation Filipino American. I graduated from Franklin High School in 2020, and I was the vice president of the Youth Leadership Board.
I'm Nara. I went to Nathan Hale High School and I was the treasurer on the board.
My name is Habak. I'm a first generation Somali American student. I was in the graduating class of Foster High School 2020, and I was the secretary for the Youth Leadership Board.
My name is Beata. I graduated from Franklin High School in 2020, and I got my bachelor's in political science from Loyola Marymount University in 2024, last year. And I was the volunteer coordinator for the Youth Advisory Board.
I'm Alia. I went to Foster High School and graduated in 2020 and went on to study informatics at the University of Washington. And I was the donor relations coordinator at UGRO.
My name is Kenya. I was a Foster High School student and graduated in 2020. And I completed my bachelor's degree at Western Washington University, also in 2024. Um, I am apparently not as good as remembering stuff, so I think my position was something related to social media, but I was definitely on the board.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you all so much for taking the time to be here and share your experiences. Which brings us to our first question. What brought you to joining the inaugural Youth Leadership Board at UGRO?
For me, I felt really lost my freshman year of high school, and I learned about the Youth Leadership Board from one of my good friends, Lily, who was the president of the Youth Leadership Board. And I just wanted something to be like involved with, and it was like I just felt very drawn to it.
Go next. I joined the board also I knew about it from Lily, and then for me personally, I knew I was interested in like joining something, but I was too shy and too scared to know about stuff, but also like to know about it and also to join it. So then kind of knowing people, having people there was helpful. And then yeah, it was kind of my first opportunity to kind of get involved just in general on anything because I wasn't really doing it much in high school. And then I learned about it, sounded fun. I knew the people who were going to be there, so I took a chance and did it.
Yeah, I agree with like both of what you all said. Definitely like looking for like-minded people and like wanted a way to spend my time that like felt productive and like in community with others, and this board was a great place for that.
I got involved because I really liked the idea of being part of a group that worked on empowerment and community building. And I remember in high school, I was really eager to find ways to get involved. So this seemed like a great place to do.
Hats off to you all for making that commitment and like really leaving a legacy. Like y'all really started this board, and that's pretty amazing. And so while you all were on the board, you participated in and coordinated a variety of events and calls to action, community building, and so on. But what was for you the most memorable part of being on the board?
I think the most memorable part for me was just like being in a space with like people from all different backgrounds. Like we all came from different schools pretty much. And just being like a space where we can share our differences in ways that would better our communities. I just thought that was really a good part.
Remember best is the Her Story brunch that we threw just because we spent so much time like planning it and like working towards it, and even just like being able to like work towards something like that together, like something that we wanted to like give back to our community. It was really special, and like definitely we all like it took a lot. And so and in the end it was really fun and it was a really good time.
I was gonna say that two things that were most memorable to me was like the first time that we went to DC and we took the train like across the country. And that was my first time being on a train. And we spent days on there and we didn't know what to do with ourselves. There was no Wi-Fi or anything. So like that was pretty cool. And then also I think it was the next year we all decided to go ride scooters to an ice cream shop, and I just think that was like a cool like bonding memorable moment that all of us shared. So yeah.
For me, I was gonna say the Her Story brunch too, because I was just really proud of us, like especially during our first brunch. Like we did so much work to like working towards it and everything, and just like all of the meetings leading towards it, we were all so nervous, but just so excited. So that was definitely like my favorite memory.
I was gonna say something similar to Jazz Asia because I really like the like sisterhood that we built, and I just remember having so much fun in our meetings and like looking forward to them. And I feel like we went on a lot of like mini adventures together, which was just really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly, what everybody already said, the brunch was definitely something that was really exciting to plan, and also just like definitely there was always some sort of fun or something exciting going on. So I think it was definitely there's definitely a lot of memories to unpack. Something that did come to mind recently was I don't know what the event was about, but it was a fancy event with like a bunch of adults, and I think we were the only like young people there. Okay, I'm not the only one who remembers, but we went there and it was kind of like the first time where we were kind of it was like our first time actually like getting to talk about you girl, especially to adults, because I feel like a lot of times it was us like kind of practicing like getting making sure that we were ready, I guess, to go out into the world, and that was the first time that we did that. So it was really scary, and I was definitely embarrassing myself a couple of times, but yeah, I think it was one of the first times where it felt like, oh, we're actually like part of something, and people want to know what we're doing, and they want to learn how they can support us. So I think that was an interesting event and time that I remembered recently.
Yeah, I love that. I love like the variety of things that y'all were up to. And yeah, thank you for sharing your fun memories. Um, and so going off of that, kind of tying into some of the things that a few of you have mentioned already, what would you say, like what impact did it have on you personally?
For me, I think it just helped me be more organized because I remember being just like very disorganized. It helped me. I felt a lot of pride in my role as a secretary, and it like gave me something to focus on and work towards. And yeah, I think it was definitely just building up my confidence and my organization skills.
Yeah, I was gonna definitely say it boosted my confidence being on the board because we were like, you had to really be like public speaking, like if you think about it, like, and so yeah, it's just a confidence boost.
For me, it was also a really big confidence boost. Like I said, I wasn't involved in doing anything during high school, so this was the time where I really got to know a little bit more about, oh, I'm actually really interested in this, or I like doing this type of work. So it's definitely a big confidence boost. And then also, like, I've been really thinking about my whole experience there, and I really mean like it was a confidence boost, and like to think about it as like a canon event because I do believe if I would have not done You Girl Girl, my life would have been completely different right now. I mean, obviously it would have been different, but not in the way that I am really proud of the person who I am right now. And it really is because of everything that started at that point, and then I was able to grow and like take those skills and everything that I learned into how my own interests or just finding more opportunities to keep doing that same type of work. Yeah, and then just confidence, public speaking, that was a really big one. And just, yeah, I think also the fact that there was that type of activity available, I think because there was like somebody there who actually trusted us, like, and was believing in the work and listening to us. So I think that was one of the other things that having an adult or like a team that we want to do something, we're working towards something together. So I think that's one of the like the really big things where it's like if you're able to find people and a place to do something that you're interested in and are really excited about, then I think it's kind of works out at the end. So I think, yeah, confidence is definitely a big word in terms of how it impacted me.
I think definitely like many impacts You Grow Girl has had on me, like very many, but Like the few that come to mind are like for my role, the volunteer coordinator, I was like constantly coordinating with like a bunch of different people and being able to like communicate with others and like with each other like successfully like towards a common goal. Like that has definitely helped me in college and like even in my current job. Like you got to know how to like talk to people and manage. So that has been super useful. But also I think it allowed me to like really refine my values at like a young high school age and like decide that like this is what I care about and like so I'm gonna fight for it or like I'm gonna like advocate for it and like work towards like something better with people who think like me. So that's definitely something that stuck with me.
I agree with what everyone said about the confidence because that applies to me as well. But I think it also helped me like learn how to voice my ideas and opinions like effectively. And also like the fact that we got to do these activities, work on them and bring them to life, it kind of helped me like feel a sense of value in the community. So that was also a big one.
Yeah, I love hearing the connections and the growth areas. Yeah, like some of you have mentioned, it's a beautiful thing when people from different backgrounds like come together with common values and goals. So thank you for sharing those things. Um, Slightly shifting in a related but somewhat different direction. So we talked about how it impacted you personally. How would you say your experience serving on the board played a part in your professional and academic journey post high school, which some of you have touched on a little bit, but if you could talk more about that.
Being on the board helped me navigate what I ended up majoring in college. I majored in anthropology, and I think it just helped me like understand that I do want to do something that has to do with the community, and I don't want to just spend my entire time at college just trying out different majors. I think it just helped me navigate like I know I want to have like an impact on the community and helping people.
I'd say for me, it definitely helped me get involved like during that time at high school. Like I started doing like a peer mentorship program and definitely getting more involved in high school and like trying to figure out what things I wanted to do. And then during college, that also like kept up. Well, because of the pandemic, like I kind of lost some of that confidence just because we weren't doing all that. So it kind of shows that it was a really big part of my life and my growth that we were doing all these amazing things and then the pandemic hit and then I was kind of like, oh, I was on track of, I felt really good of what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do things, but then everything just kind of stopped. So then in college, I was trying to find a little bit more of, okay, like, what did I do at Grow and, what did I learn and how do I want to apply it either in college or in terms of what I want to do? Um, so I was able to get involved a lot in my college campus. And I think one of the big things that guided me and the stuff that I do then and now was the fact that I was too shy to do a bunch of things during high school. So that's what anytime I also work with youth in my current job. So that's a lot of things that I keep in mind of, oh, I remember being in meetings but not really speaking and listening a lot. So or, having ideas but not really voicing them or not knowing how to voice those ideas. So I think a lot of the experiences that I got to learn from at the board are things that I'm able to, I guess, kind of be a mentor for the youth that I do work with and say, hey, I was also in this experience where I was really shy to do things, or um, oh, we went to DC to lobby. Like I've spoken to legislators or representatives before. It like kind of being that person of, I was basically just being that same person of I was also shy, but I'm doing all of this right now, and I'm pretty sure you have the skills and have the interest to do those things. So I think that was one of the things of because I knew that I had so much growth in the experiences that the board gave me that I wanted to make sure to also give those back to the community and say, hey, this is how you can also grow.
This is definitely like echoing what other people said, but I think that confidence definitely like has helped me in like college and in like my jobs, especially like being able to like feel empowered enough to like seek out other spaces of like resistance or like of activism, of advocacy, of empowerment. And that's something I did in at my university a lot, and it's really like guided like my path and like helped me like end up where I'm going. So just being able to like, I don't know, like feel confident enough to like fight for what I believe in, like bottom line, like that has been the most useful to me.
For me, college was not easy, and I think it helped me navigate it with the skills I learned and advocating for myself when things got challenging. And I also discovered like a passion for mentoring when I was at You Grow Girl. So I ended up having this part-time job in college where I was mentoring and advising other informatics students. And it was really fun, and it helped me like revive like passions that I always had. So, you know.
Thanks. Yeah, it's awesome, yeah, hearing what you all have been up to, and how the board has, or being on the board has impacted all of your journeys. You're an impressive bunch of young women. Um, to broaden the topic a little bit, um, what is a social justice issue or topic you are passionate about that girls and women constantly face, including intersectionality of cultural identities?
For me, there's, I think for me, what stands out, especially now, is probably discrimination in the workplace and not feeling like they're like women are qualified for the certain position that they're in. I don't know why we're taking like 5 steps back, but I think it's even prominent in like positions where, like male dominated fields, especially. I think it's just, yeah, I think that's what I'm really passionate about right now. It's ridiculous.
I agree. I was actually going to say the same exact thing, because I work in a male-dominated field, and it's difficult to have like that imposter syndrome and feeling like you don't belong there, especially when these spaces are not designed with you in mind. And yeah, like I'm passionate about like working to make women feel like they deserve to be there and that they can thrive in these fields.
I also kind of have a similar interest of like that imposter syndrome, but not necessarily externally, more internally. I think for me, like as a first generation college student and kind of being in a primarily white institution, not knowing, what college, not being able to rely on family members or like people that I'm comfortable with to say, what does college look like? So I think one of the things is trying to figure out of, I do deserve to be here, or also that divide of, you've been in high school with your parents most of your life and like, with that specific culture, and then you go to college and you're kind of learning about yourself. You're kind of separating like different interests and different ideas for specifically who you want to be. So I think a lot of what I got interested is kind of like mm, yeah, I guess kind of that um internal beliefs and kind of thinking of, I deserve to be here. This is why I believe in something, and kind of learning to do that as a woman of color. I think especially yeah, I think that's one of the big things, kind of that internal battle inside of wanting to do things, but also staying connected to your community and your roots is kind of sometimes not easy to balance.
Yeah, when I was at college, I was really active in this club called the Radical Care Coalition, and it was like a prison abolition like centered org. And that's where I kind of learned about the idea of prison abolition and the idea of like radical care instead of like systems of like punishment and incarceration and domination that are like super racist, patriarchal in like every single way. So just learning how the way our world is built like affects us and affects like how we think, but it doesn't have to be that way. The system of punishment and imprisonment that we have like it's not working, and it's just causing more harm and like repeating these cycles of harm. So in terms of women, like everyone is just affected by this because it's such like widespread and definitely like a way of thinking that we as a society like allow like this punishment and intense like um and it's just like not okay. So that's kind of what I've like taken this and like in my own way, like that's kind of how I see it. I don't know if that makes sense.
Thank you all for speaking on these really important issues. It feels especially important right now, considering our like current political climate, to really name these things. So I appreciate you all voicing that. Um, okay, again, shifting gears a little bit. Now, I'd like to give an opportunity to you all to provide some feedback. So the next question is, what opportunities do you feel were missed that you wish the board had been involved in?
Maybe more like fundraising events, because I remember our baking sale, which was really fun for us to like plan and bake together. Maybe like more smaller things like that we can do, like not weekly, but that we could have done like once a month. That's all I can really think about.
Yeah, I was actually gonna say the same thing because I know we talked about like different fundraising events that we could have done more often. And like Hibak said, that baking thing that we did was really fun. And like we really just hung out and baked all these like cupcakes or brownies or and, like all that stuff together, just like listening to music and hanging out and stuff. And so like I think that's probably one thing that like I think we could have done more of, but we did have a lot of stuff like in every agenda, like every meeting that we had to do too. So I don't know. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I feel like we did a lot, like low key, which is really cool, and like definitely like keep doing everything. But definitely more opportunities to like just hang out and like be in community with each other, like chill. I think that would be like super beneficial because like that's what we all took away, like being with each other. So
I also can't think of like anything specific that I wish we would have done. It was definitely like the right level for, being the first board and all of us kind of being the first time doing things. Um, but I guess more of like a broad idea. I do think we could have done or maybe worked on bringing the work that we were doing specifically to our like individual communities or high schools. I think that would have been great to kind of expand our impact. Obviously not right away, but kind of work towards, okay, this is what we're doing as a group. How do we bring it back into our own little high schools, our own little clubs and stuff like that? So I think that's one of the things that would have been exciting to see. But yeah, other than that, there wasn't, I think we definitely had a lot of stuff that we were doing and we're learning a lot about. So I think that was the main thing. We were learning a lot. So it was kind of hard to really get involved more large scale, but yeah.
It's really helpful to know and hear. Does anyone else have anything they want to add? Like we covered it. More like chill, kind of like intimate hangout sessions. Yeah, that's really important. Um, and we'll definitely, yeah, take that into consideration as we like relaunch the board. So thank you. Appreciate the feedback. Um, and so to wrap to wrap it up, I would love if each of you could share what you would like to say to future board members.
I said something I would like to say to future youth leadership board members is to just be your authentic self, because being yourself is like a really big thing because no one has lived your life or you had your experiences. So bringing that to like a big group and like you're sharing your experiences, you can find better ways to help the community from like your own past experiences.
I think just staying true to yourself and staying informed, especially like in high school when people might try to say that you don't know anything just because you're young. I think youth are often like more informed than people that are twice their age. So just standing 10 toes down on like what you believe in and fighting for your future and what you believe in because it's your future, and surrounding yourself with adults and people who are going to support you and not tell you that like you don't know enough.
I was gonna say that I think that the bond that you create with the other members in the youth leadership board is just as important as the work that you do. Because you're creating a sisterhood based off of like shared passions and in solidarity. And so don't forget to have fun with each other and like make unforgettable memories.
I would say be proud of the work that you do and don't feel like you can't do anything because you will open doors for others and for yourself. And also, don't feel intimidated or afraid to take risks because sometimes risks can lead to good outcomes. So, yeah.
Yeah, I really like that. I was gonna say something similar, like take every opportunity that's offered. Like, don't be afraid to like put yourself out there and like be like who you are. And definitely like I'm a big fan of like inner like reflection, like really like honing like what do I value? Like what is important to me and how can that shape my actions? Like if that's important to me, then how am I gonna like act towards it or fight for it? So that's what I say.
Yeah, I think a lot of the stuff was already said, but also a really big emphasis on like don't be too shy, don't like in better words, like it's not that serious. Like it feels like a really big thing, but you know, people don't expect you to like know how like know the facts and know the whole system. Like we're all like you really are learning and you really are just figuring out what do you want to do. And it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to, you know, feel like you're not ready. I think that sisterhood, that's what going back to what Jose said, the sisterhood is a really important part of bringing that confidence. So as long as you feel comfortable in the space, um, and feel sure of what you want to do, it's gonna work out. Maybe not necessarily the way that you imagine it or have planned, but something is gonna work out. And that's, I think also along that, trust that people are also looking up to you, not necessarily in like a big, oh, I can't mess up, but it's, oh, like in the same way that you know, if I would have not joined the youth leadership board, then I probably would have looked up to all of the rest of my peers and said, oh, you know, they're doing really good, cool stuff. So I think realizing that, you know, you're allowed to make mistakes, you're allowed to learn, you're allowed to, you know, take risk, and then hopefully other young people are also looking up to you and saying, hey, you know, this person is actually doing really cool stuff. Like I want to be involved too. So I think keeping in mind that a lot of stuff that you do, even if it doesn't feel like it has an impact, it probably does have an impact to somebody. So yeah, not in a scary way of, you know, somebody's watching and, you know, you want to be a role model, but yeah, a lot of learning and a lot of taking risks. And it's okay because we're young and you're learning. So yeah, as long as you take the opportunity and had fun and build the bonds, I think that that's the best that you can do. And it's always a good thing too. So
Oh, wow. Thank you all so much. It has been really great to hear directly from former board members. I just know how helpful this will be for girls who are interested in joining the board and folks who are like generally interested in You Grow Girl. Um, so yeah, you all are amazing. I can't wait to see all of the other incredible things that you do. Keep shining. Um, and yeah, thanks again. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it.
Thank you all so much for joining us. We look forward to working with the inspirational girls committed to transformative social justice that will make up the Youth Leadership Board and the change they bring. In solidarity, we will rise.